That's Mike.
That's Toya.
And this is Tech Beats and Bytes.
So, for the 400 people that's sitting in this tiny room today.
What? Oh.
Come on, Toya.
See? Bumble. Go.
You would think we just started doing this.
It's on vibrate. I don't even know why I did all that.
Right.
It is. Go.
So, today is our 1 year anniversary of Tech Beats and Bytes. That's what 400 people sound like in unison.
Yes.
So we wanted to do a little reminiscing, and on top of reminiscing, we thought that we would do a company spotlight. And since our president and my co-host has a child, we thought we would bring something in child friendly, and we would make the show just not just playing. It's not really just about Toya, but
yeah, no.
We wanted to bring in somebody amazing. So, Candice, if you could please introduce yourself and tell the people in about 2 minutes a little bit about your company, so we can tell them more and ask a couple of questions.
Sure. So my name is Candice Saffer, and I'm the founder and CEO for Zing Rides. I want to thank you for being here. Congratulations on your 1 year anniversary.
Thank you very
Super cool. So we are a safe ride-sharing company for kids. We're a community platform where we only allow other parents and caregivers as drivers to be onboarded as drivers. We're a community company, meaning that all of the kids that are being driven around in and around the city are actually being driven by community members. So let's say if it's here in Overtown, we're going to have parents and caregivers from Overtown driving kids around.
Oh, wow.
Same goes for South Miami,
I think
North
she's answering
Miami.
about 5 of our questions right now.
Right.
So it's really cool because our goal really is to understand and make sure that kids are, ride sharing and think ride sharing is cool. We want them to be less inclined to buying cars in the future. And it saves the environment. It's less carbon footprint in the air. Plus, car sharing is really fun because it reduces traffic during peak hours of the day. I'm sure everybody here appreciates the Miami traffic. It's so nice, and there's always so much room to
the
park
sarcasm.
everywhere. And so this is the intention of the company, is that we want to reduce traffic. We want to make urban life better, and there's no better way by uniting our community and building trust from within.
That was a good intro.
That was.
You can tell you've done that before.
Yeah, that's when you've been pitching to investors. Right. That was investor ready.
Right.
Well, I'm passionate about what I do.
It shows, though.
That was even a better investor answer.
It's
definitely not about the money. I do not care about becoming a billionaire.
I just really want to help the kids.
really want to help the carbon footprint. Honestly, that was a very good intro.
Thank you.
Your company was automatically interested in us, honestly, because Toya does have a little son that it's like that's the next level for digital grass, inherit the company. And when I saw it, I think it was in a newsletter. I heard about it. I was like, we got to get her on the show. This sounds great. Yeah. But honestly, some of my reasons of getting you on the show was to kind of help other people understand, because my number one question was what I've seen other people do that with our investment group is normally the first thing that we hear that we stop listening is when somebody says they want to be the Uber-like of something to an investor. And that's normally the moment an investor hears that, it's just like they zone out. They may listen to you, but they stop actually internalizing.
Cell phones come out and they start checking those emails they need to actually delete.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Right. So,
in their inbox.
Right. So I was wondering for you, what was it like being, because this is pretty much Uber for kids, which is dope. But how did you get that through investors, or have you even acquired investors? You might still be a lean company. I'm not sure. So maybe we need to help you find investors.
So we are completely bootstrapped as a company for now, because what I wanted to do is create traction. One of the things that I really wanted to build was bank on the trust that can be built within communities. So we're actually in 12 schools right now. And we also service a couple of hospitals. So that's, driving kids around, to after school activities and also to school is not the only thing that we're focused on. We actually look into that horrible statistic of, for example, Florida, of after school, after 3 p.m., there's actually 440,000 kids left unattended after school with no supervision. And to me, that doesn't make any sense. I think that transportation is a huge issue when it comes to that. There's a lot of publicly funded, amazing programs out there when it comes to music, academics, nutrition.
But you're saying they just can't get to the programs themselves.
I believe they can get to the program through the school buses, but it's that 6 p.m.
Getting
pickup
home.
time. You know, usually you have 2 working parents, multiple siblings. You have to sacrifice, and sometimes it's the kids that are making the sacrifice because the parents are working. They're bringing in their food on the table. So that to me is unacceptable. So if I can do anything to help change that and mold that, I will. So I wouldn't really consider us an Uber or a Lyft per se. I would consider us an extension of the families into the communities that we get into, because we want to be there for them. So much so that some of the kids, we're actually taking them to get medical treatments on a weekly basis. They're non-emergency. But without us, these parents wouldn't have any other way to get those kids there. And that's an amazing accomplishment for us. I'll sometimes go and pick up the kids myself because I want to get real and I want to get some feedback from them. And just yesterday, it was the really like a most amazing comment I had. I didn't tell the little girl who I was up until the end. I was listening to her chatter away. I get to listen to all these amazing kids. And then at the end, I said, you know, hey, I actually own the company and I'm here because I want to hear from you. What do you think about the service so far? And she turns around to me and she says, you know, I'm not spending an hour and a half in the school bus. And guess what? I'm coming home and I can give 2 extra hours to the community service that I want to give to. And that to me is important. So to me, when I hear things like that, this is true paying it forward. It's educating our kids to, you know what, there's value in the time our parents take to shuffle us around everywhere. And we know that sometimes it makes them sacrifice the things that they really want to do. And when I hear a child turn around to me and say, I'm actually doing a community service that I love to do, and you're allowing me to do that, that just pays everything off for me.
I would like to just say that I found Candice to be a guest on the show today. I just want to throw that out there. No, that's really, I mean, I don't think we expected all of this.
But it's true to your heart. You know?
Yeah. Right, and it shows.
But it seems natural for you. I mean, if you're a caretaker, you're a caretaker. But I think when you have in here one of the statements that you sent over from your very humbling bio, because it was only a paragraph, Zing enhances the quality of urban life for families. I don't think you emphasize from your website and from your collateral material, I don't think you emphasize the enhancing life part enough, because what I was excited about the company on one level. Now I'm totally excited on a whole nother level with the basis of the impact. Because
of the way that you're enabling the parents to then also be able to provide for their kids. And that's what one of my questions was going to be, because that was a fantastic undercover boss moment that you had with the little girl in the car.
That was.
But how did you sort of identify the need? Do you come from the school system? Were you a teacher? Were you a caregiver? How did you decide to start Zing?
No, I've not had a lot of things handed to me, and I've raised 3 kids on my own. And I've had to shuffle my kids around, and I was always asking for those favors to my friends. You know, can you take my child today? I'll promise I can take their kids tomorrow. But at the end of the day, what I really needed was, you know, a quality service that, you know, my kids could be safe. And I know that it takes a village to raise a child, and I'm so thankful for all of my community members because they've helped me get this far. Without them, I really couldn't do it. But there is a need out there, and this is the need that we're filling, is to every parent out there that needs to organize their kids without sacrificing their own schedules and giving them the opportunity that they deserve every single day is an amazing, you know, accomplishment as a parent and as a company, so that we can do this together. It does take a village to raise a child, but I did it out of a personal need, and I didn't have anybody to take my kids.
Well, they say the most successful companies come from a personal need.
Right, problem solving.
Yeah, problem solving. But one of the intricate parts you just mentioned is actually parents in the neighborhoods being the driver. How much do you feel that having the parents as the driver, how much is that actually enhancing the community value? Because I would assume it brings in more of a close-knit community just in general, because now you're going back to, like you said, some of those core roots of it takes a village, where now, you know, okay, I know you're driving, this is a way for you to make money, but I'm also entrusting you with my child at the same time. So how do you see that as actually enhancing the value of the community overall?
Well, I mean, safety always comes first, right? I mean, yes, these are other parents, but we still do the screening. I mean, we are on steroids when it comes to screening. We do the background check, we do the fingerprinting, we do in-person interviews, we check their car out, we send it to the mechanic. We do everything under the sun that actually Florida law requires and more, because these are our kids, right? But, you know, if you're, to answer your question, if you're a parent and you're going 5 miles down and you have your child in the car and you have a couple of seats extra available in the car, why are you not going to offer that for the safe transport of another child? Mm-hmm. Maybe that mom is home and she can't because she doesn't have a car. Maybe she's sick. Maybe she's working 2 jobs. Who knows? But why wouldn't you do that? So once you get into the habit, you know, and these are wonderful habits that can be formed and are taught to our youth because they see our parents collaborating together. So if you can be a help to another family member, regardless of the reason, why not do it? I just think that there has to be more communication, trust, collaboration between people, because people really need that. And at the end of the day, there's just a lot of bad news. We read about atrocities and things that happen, and that's a normal fact of life. But we can't lose sight of that amazing community that you can build and form, because people are waiting for that. And they just need that extra help. So why not do it?
Yeah. On the surface, so if you're just sort of like looking into Zing, you may think that it sounds like you have your own personal chauffeur. So it may sound kind of luxurious, but is it affordable? How are you sort of, because you talked about being in Overtown in the urban areas, so you're dealing with parents who may not necessarily have, you know, well-paying jobs all the time, or their household income may not be at a certain level. So how do you sort of go about making it affordable, if it is, and then also sort of debunking the assumption that it may be too expensive for a parent?
So there's always that issue where, you know, more affluent communities can afford more, and the kids that don't feel those positive ripple effects get, you know,
left
less.
behind.
And that to me is something completely unacceptable, and it can be solved. So the way that we figured is that if you're a mom and you need to have your child taken to school and picked up every day, everybody does. Maybe you can drive in the morning and you can drive 2 other kids or 3 other kids in the morning with you, and you can make that extra income. In the afternoon, you're working and you can't pick them up. You can use those funds, credits, to then allow for that other parent to pick them up. And in essence, the difference is what we keep, so that we can keep our, you know, development going and bring a flawless app out.
So it's really like a modern day bartering system.
Exactly.
To some degree.
It truly is. And it is about community. So we're not into the whole
just a service,
part of just a service. No, we are here for during the day, you know, after school activities, for academic help on the weekends, uniting sports leagues and organizations, traveling teams. I have 3 kids, and one of them swims in Miami-Dade College North. The other one, you know, here is in Wynwood at another, you know, studio. My daughter's in soccer. Sometimes she just doesn't want to do anything at all. She has to be in the car with me whether she likes it or not.
Right.
You know, so, and one of them many times couldn't do an activity. So this is where it stems from. You know, this is the opportunity that we have as a community to say, hey, we're here for each other. Let's help each other out. And this can translate into other services. So part of our growth, you know, trajectory is going to be offering this in the future to seniors. To me, it's completely appalling how seniors have to wait for hours on end when it comes to transportation to a doctor or to another facility. There's no need for that. There are other people that are willing to transport them. And this is where that quality and that niche in the community has to come from within.
Wow. How was the launch of the company?
We haven't launched it yet. So we have been in about 12 schools, and all, you know, we have thousands of rides, but what we're doing is we're coding everything, and the app is actually going to be launched in about a month and a half.
Awesome.
So we have been doing business the old style way. You know, we started doing business. We're busy. doing our work. And to tell you the truth, I'm busy doing my life's work. So I'm not just busy working. I feel I'm busy doing my life's work. So it's a great thing.
You need
and because
to,
you did it that
people
way,
how to pitch, boy.
Right? That too. But because you took a different approach to launching or starting your business. Why did you take that approach instead of like launching it, doing a whole big old thing, and then rolling out the services? You actually put in the work, figured it out. You almost did like a prototype.
We have to understand that when you're rolling out a business, that you want it to be a business that's going to have longevity. And I see Zing as, for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, or 100 years.
Until it's autonomous cars taking care of it.
Truly want to be, and leave that legacy, then you have to build it from the ground up. And hard work pays off. There's a lot of companies that get funding really quick. They have burn rates that are super high.
Right.
And what happens is that they lose track of the everyday nitty gritty.
Right.
And what we're doing is every single day we learn something new. We get a new customer experience. We get a new driver experience. We're coding that into the app. We're seeing what works, how, people are able to pay, where people are sometimes not able to pay. What are those programs that can possibly be subsidized in order to offer our service to communities that can't pay?
I wonder if there would be access to any kind of public funding to decrease your costs for like individual rides, to kind of, like you said, subsidize the rides for kids that can't afford it.
Yeah, I'm sure, and there are transportation budgets out there, but I'm really happy to say that what I did do is I needed traction. And I needed to see for myself if this would be a business that, people would use and people would need, and if the trust could be built and how that trust could be built. So now that we get testimonials from parents like, I didn't move because of you. We did. I can't live without your service. This little girl, I can do a community service because of you. This is when we say, okay, we're ready to go. I think everything is good. We've got what we need to keep the kids safe and get there to where they need to go. So we just opened our fundraising last week.
How much are you trying to raise?
We are now doing a very small raise. So we're going to go for like $500,000. And then towards the end of the year, we'll go for a Series A.
Now, so I know some people might have heard that number and it's like $500,000. That's not very small. But for the basis of transportation, building a unique platform, tracking of the system and the backgrounds, that's actually a very modest, a very conservative budget for what you're going to need in the long run.
And we have those budgets, and we have those budgets planned out for the next 5 years. And yes, they are, a lot harder and a lot, higher than what it is. But the whole thing about that is, if you do something, if you start a company and you start it lean, you understand what the desperation is around certain times and what it's going to take. And to me, the best thing was my team. My team stuck with me during the good times and during the hard times. They were innovative. They were there for me. We're doing this as a group. And sometimes people just want to join startups that have all these big fundraisings and because they want those big salaries. We are a group of people that are passionate about what we do. We do it because we believe in the cause. We believe this can be highly scalable into any city in America and across, internationally. But we're doing it because we're passionate about what we do. And I think that it's a true testament to who stuck with me. And because starting a business and scaling it the way that we did is no easy task.
Right, not at all. Doing the lean way is never easy.
But the funding part, the most important part for us is the safety. So we'll have, we have GPS tracking throughout, where you can have access to your children throughout every single second of the ride.
Inside cameras or?
We will have inside cameras when funding permits. We have a push notification. We're on our way to pick up. We're at pickup location.
Nice.
Kids have been dropped off safely. We have a feature in there where, parents can invite other parents to carpool for their kids. The kids can also invite other friends to carpool with them, and the parents will give them the authorization to do that. We also have the ability to search for classes there. So in and around this area, if you'd want to search, a football team that, maybe you moved into town and you don't know where to go, you could actually go and search. And a lot of those times that, our partnerships that we're forming are partnerships with, people that are business owners in the community, and we ask them for free classes so that we can in turn give it for free to some of the drivers, and we see what their habits are. So it's partnerships that matter, perks that matter. Forming the company culture to us is key to our success, and that's what we're going for right now.
I just want some people to know that's watching this, and the people that are going to be watching this when we stream, this is what I would call the level of expertise of knowing your business and having passion about your business, because Toya knows this rarely happens. Literally, some of the questions we just have to go through, and we're just checking them off the list because you're answering the questions before we even get to them.
And your answers already.
Yeah, and so that's very good. It's very good for, because that's one of our things we're teaching people about entrepreneurship. You know, we like to highlight companies, but we also want to teach people. And I think this is a perfect example of how to know your business, how to talk about your business,
Absolutely.
how to guide people to make people, because it becomes an emotional attachment. Because I can now understand Zing was all right, but now it's ultimately cool because now I'm thinking about, that kid, they can't play football because his parents just couldn't afford, not that they couldn't afford for him to play football,
couldn't
but
get him
he
there.
just couldn't get him there.
Right.
So he ends up leaving football idle hands, and now he's in trouble. He ends up arrested or in jail or something because he just didn't have that extra activity. And I could see how this could change and affect lives.
Absolutely.
Were there any incidents of Uber that, I guess, besides the fact of affordability, that led you to the point of saying there's no way I'm going to pitch this to Uber, or there's no way that Uber can handle what I'm doing? I mean, besides, because you have a lot of added features that, of course, Uber's not going to really care if you play football or you get to piano practice. But was there any incidents at Uber that led you to this conclusion where you were like, hey, I'm going to start up Zing because I just don't trust my child? Oh, no.
Well, Uber and Lyft are not allowed to have kids under the age of 18 travel on their own. So just right there, that's a company policy.
They've been breaking the law a lot then.
So a lot of drivers, unfortunately do it, but I can tell you that Uber and Lyft are very vocal about that. And they
even if the parents send a request for the child, they're not supposed to allow the child to actually get in the car?
Yes, but Uber and Lyft send out text messages to all their drivers telling them that they're not allowed to transport kids. So I think that as a company, they're doing their job in terms of informing and reiterating what their
drivers still need the money.
But it is the driver's, opportunity there. And I've seen cases where sometimes, drivers simply say, get there, and it's a kid, and maybe it's a mom or a dad that's driving, and they don't want to leave that kid stranded on the curbside, which is a shame, but it happens. But
has anybody seen a Law and Order SVU of Uber?
No.
Crickets.
I haven't seen it. I'm just saying. I'm sure one is coming.
No, it's coming, but they're not allowed, and they're vocal about it. And I have actually spoken to Uber, and I've actually spoken to Lyft. I think that in the future, there's room for everybody. And
what did you speak to them about?
So basically, to me, there's a really great need in terms of the community needing the service for kids, and also when it comes to accessibility, disability, and they can't provide the service, but there's no need, for them to just hog everything. So if they were to open a platform where they would allow for partners to come in and provide an amazing quality service, then why not?
What was the response?
Well, I think Lyft now, they're starting webinars where they're trying to get more partners on board, and they're seeing these partnerships that matter. Uber, I mean, they just are, I just talk to them occasionally, and they're glad to see that there's a service out there that's community driven, and they're glad that I'm touching base with them all the time. I'm not here to say, I'm gonna, be as big as they are, right off the bat, because that would be like incredibly arrogant, which it's not even in my DNA. But what I do want to do is provide a really high quality level service that people can trust.
What did you do before this?
Me, I've always been in business development. I'm from Brazil originally, so I'm Latina.
Okay.
I've worked in media for so many years. I used to work for United News and Media.
That's why she's so well spoken. This is
no,
this that light work for her. She's like, I know what I'm about to say.
No.
Let's go.
But I have done many jobs that I was really proud of, because I've always gotten projects that I've had to lead from the ground up. So whether it was somebody trying to open a business in Brazil or somebody opening a business in Thailand or Hong Kong, I was always up to the challenge, getting to know the culture, how to deal with that culture, how to do business with that culture, what would be the distribution there, doing market research for companies. So I'm very project-based, and I like it to keep it that way.
Nice. Kind of going back to the conversation about teaching and using this as a platform to inform other entrepreneurs, share a little bit about starting a transportation business, because transportation just sounds like there's a lot of licenses and regulations and everything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That must have been a while to sort of figure that out, you know, figure out exactly what you needed, what your drivers needed and everything. Share a little bit about that process.
So the first 6 months of putting the company together, I was probably reading about 12 hours a day. I mean, I wasn't sleeping. I was educating myself on exactly what I needed. Once I figured out what the mandates were and the state mandates were, and what Florida Congress, you know, mandates were, I actually pitched the city, and I went to the commissioners. And I said, hey, you know, I've been really reading about this topic, and it's a need. What do you think if I open a ride-sharing company for kids? And they said, wow, you know, we would think of maybe changing an ordinance for you.
Really?
And I said, why? They said, well, because we give out academic grants every single year to kids that can't make it because of transportation. And I said, well, amazing. Great feedback. I think I'll start the company, but how can I make it safe? Who can you direct me to? So I asked for references, and you know, when you're starting up, you have to talk to everybody, and you have to make sure to utilize your mentors wisely, and to identify those mentors is really key. So I went to head of emergency management for Miami, and I sat down with them, and I talked to them about what I needed in terms of making the platform safe, how they hire and fire 911 operators, what they're looking for in qualifications of people, what I should be screening for. I think the more that you read, the more doors you open, right? And if you're going in the right direction, you're going to open the right doors because you're attracting that to you. And I felt like every single day I was opening a new door that was teaching me something new, and I was definitely headed in the right direction when I got positive feedback. So I kept going.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think one of the most important things was, I mean, it seems like you've covered the element of building a team and the research that you did to make sure you knew what you were doing. But the one thing that's still sticking out in my mind is kind of training kids or getting them used to not even owning a car, because it's already been said, if you haven't had a child now, that there's a chance that 95% of your children will never learn how to drive because of either ride-sharing, transportation,
or automated cars.
Autonomous cars. So
Right.
the fact that you're kind of geared towards that, just pushing in the right direction. But this has been one of our, I say, best tech spotlights.
Yeah, for sure.
It was very
Can
informed.
I make a quick point on that? Really
Absolutely.
quick? So I think to me the challenge is obviously not getting them to drive is going to be a great one to educate them on ride sharing. But getting them out of their cell phones and interacting and coming back to communicating with each other
Didn't even think about that part.
is a huge part. And molding behavior is part of what we're trying to do as well. And we had one child that came in, they had just moved into the United States, and they were going to a school that they knew no one. And you know what, as a kid, that is nerve-wracking. You're not 6, you know, your mom's not out there, you're 14. You're a teenager, you're going into a high school that you know nobody.
Yeah.
In that car were 2 other kids that child made a friend with. And that made her day better. And so that interaction is really important for us as well. So it's not just about ride sharing and, you know, getting more cars out of the road. It is what kind of interaction can we actually have them have between them and have them less inclined to be on their phones all the time.
You know, we've discussed
Yes.
that on the show about how much South Florida is an A to B city. And, you know, people leave their house to get to a location. They go from that location and come back home.
Right.
And without public transportation or large
makes it
places
hard.
where there's a lot of foot traffic, you
Yeah.
don't really just run into people. You don't have those natural interactions. And you think about places like Chicago, New York, where you're on the train, you can go through 5 different lifestyles on one ride, you know, through different communities and meeting different people. And we don't have that here. Like, that's why we don't have a happy hour culture. People don't have that desire to be like, I'm not about to fight everybody. I'm not trying to get on the train at 5:05. let me go get a drink and just chill out, and then you end up meeting your next, wife, boyfriend, business partner, or whatever. But we don't have that here. People will literally just sit in traffic for an hour and a half, and you're not communicating with anybody.
Right. Traffic makes it hard to get there at 5 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah. Or there's still nowhere with good drinks.
I hear you.
Or that too. That too.
Well, Candice, we want to wish you the best of success. I think
Thank you.
for our team, we will any way we can support you and help
Yeah,
you.
and definitely want you to come back once you officially launch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Want to be a part of the launch, but
I'm excited.
thank you for being on the show, and we
Yes,
look forward to your
thank you
success.
so much. It was so wonderful to meet you.
Good information.
Thank you.
Photo.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
No, that was fun.
Impressive.
Really good information, and like she said, it's definitely the wave of the future.
Yeah.
And if Miami's going to become the city that it wants to become, we got to look into other modes of transportation.
But anyway, I mean,
and
just
everything.
in general, getting up to Dade County, what she's going to experience going from, people that live all the way out in Weston and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's going to be very impactful.
Yep.
We're a very lateral city, so transportation means a lot.
Yep.
All
It's
right.
cute.
So, I just want y'all to know we have absolutely nothing in the notes for this part. Just says a year
Winging
reflection.
it.
Yeah, it says a year reflection with Tech Beats and Bytes. That's it, and it's just a little line going in and out, waiting for somebody to type something. So, really? And so, just want y'all to know, Toya typed SALK DJFX. She typed something. It just means absolutely nothing. So we've been doing this for a year. So Toya, what is your initial feedback? How do you feel about it a year in?
Yeah. No, I think.
Because 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Right, we were doing something else.
Definitely didn't say we were going to be
No.
doing shows and podcasts.
No. No, I think it's been a fantastic ride. We've tried different formats. We've done different things. And I think that that's just all a part of the growing process. And once we found the rhythm, it just started to make sense.
Yeah.
And the community that we're building, and how many people are like, oh my gosh, I listen to you guys, I watch you guys, and how much we're impacting people and providing them with information and insight as well as inspiration to sort of live their best lives, whatever form or format that may be.
I think that's been one of the things for me too. It's like being a rapper. When you get people that come back and they spit back parts of what you said. Right. I said that. And the fact that they're listening that much, that's been impactful. Mm-hmm. I think also some companies now, appreciating the exposure.
For sure.
It's some people out there, I need to let them know now. When it gets to that next level, we're not letting y'all alone. It's going to be like, who's the dude that always gives, is it not Matt Damon a hard time? About at the end of the show, was it Jimmy Fallon? Yeah, Jimmy Fallon at the end of every show, he talking about how Matt Damon couldn't make it. We ran out of time. We'll get him the next time. There's a couple of y'all that's going to be Matt Damon when we get to the next level, because it's a couple of people we have reached out to and just never had the time. And I feel some kind of way about people that's always busy but always free.
Look,
you can't be busy but your whole life is on Instagram. If you're going to lie to me, at least keep it private.
Right. I mean, but you live and let live. Look, do what you want to do, and it's okay.
Cut. You don't play that with Shaquisha. I got crazy cousins, man. So, Joseph, sorry to call you out. We won't have no content. We gotta fill in this time. You've been following us almost since we kind of started Digital Grass, and you've been doing a lot in the tech community.
We were doing seminars and all that stuff,
City
conferences,
and all the old stuff. You've been around for a while. What do you think? What makes you continue to come out? You've been very supportive. Actually, here too lately. You've been here 6 times in a row, and ever since we've been in this space, you've been here. And then you brought along your beautiful wife. Congratulations on them. We make couples happen. Although we had nothing to do with that.
Right. We'll claim it though.
What keeps you around? What do you like most about the show? And I'm sorry, at this point you'll have to walk up and talk into the mic. They can't hear you. Come up here. No, but we're recording. You got to sit down.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, with the polo hat and all.
Okay, hi world. No, I come on.
Come up, see
on the mic.
Okay. No, I really just
come up.
Okay, so
6
I really
inches.
just like you guys.
Oh, okay.
We appreciate
We
that.
appreciate that
You guys
too.
are very entertaining. And also, like, every time I watch your show, I learn something about something that I don't know about.
See how nerve-wracking it is to be up here? Imagine we got to do this for an hour.
No, I'm not nervous, but you guys just do a great job.
Thanks.
You know, and even when I don't get the opportunity to come, I always watch you guys. Always.
Yeah, I see your name come up and you normally at least like or share. I've
Yeah,
noticed that.
Yeah. So, you know, and, you know, I like to support people doing good things. I like to support my community and multicultural communities. And you guys are doing a good thing. And, you know, I'm just here showing support.
We
Love
appreciate
that.
it. All right, you don't have to stay up here. We not gonna put you on there.
Look, going through the audience.
Yeah, I know. Who else we gonna pull out?
Oh, let's get Alicia.
Yeah. Sundari, come to the front real quick. So Sundari is our intern, so I just want everybody that's watching.
Who will be moving away in the summer.
She's leaving us to go chase life as a young child should do. Can you sit down? So Sundari,
about 5 big brothers. Jeez.
we always say most youth don't have the drive of internships or doing anything, and you actually started working with us and doing stuff for the show. We didn't really even ask you. You just started doing it, and then you're a graphic designer, and then you ended up producing your own YouTube content, which you're still working on. So how has Tech Beats and Bytes impacted or influenced you these last couple of, well, this last couple of years, this last year?
All right.
Exactly, this year.
You guys have helped me with networking because I'm very bad at that. So, like,
You're not shy at all. Like, swaying and not talking into the mic has nothing to do with being shy. There you go. Well, I taught you these things. Talking to the mic, sit up straight.
yeah, you've helped me with networking
Okay.
because you bring people here and that I don't know. And you're like, go talk to that person. I'm like, okay.
I'm not that bossy, but
Yeah. Go ahead, Sundari.
Toy.
Look, they say I'm bossy too, but I'm not. It's okay.
It's because you just smile when you bossing people around.
You
so it
guys
makes
are
it
very
seem that-
loving and hard loving.
Yeah, we care about you. You're like a little sister to us, so we've
appreciate
appreciated you. So what's going to be in your journey? What are we looking forward to you accomplishing in South Carolina? And with those accomplishments, what do you think you're going to be able to take from Digital Grass that's help you accomplish those things?
Well, you guys have always told me to do what I want to do, so I'm planning to go to cosmetology school, and
Woo woo.
I want to open my own salon within the next 5 to 10 years.
Aw. To Sundari's parents, if she doesn't make it, we didn't tell her to do that.
I'm gonna make
But
it.
we did
You
tell
are
her.
gonna
No,
make
you
it.
are going to make it.
You're going to make
But
it.
we did tell her to chase her dreams, and we are very proud of you, and we will do anything we can, and we expect to be able to fly you back on your private jet so you can tell us about your line, to tell us about your project that took over Fenty and how you was able to meet Rihanna with your new makeup line. So we
She
will
want
talk
to do
it.
hair.
I thought she was going to do makeup.
No, I'm just.
Oh, just hair? Oh. I don't know that many people in the hair industry, but when you do hair for the next Black Panther movie,
Right, like
when you're
Kim
on
Kimball
set,
or-
we will be there to support you. We believe in you.
Thanks.
But thank you very much, Sundari.
Yes.
We appreciate all your work. Are we allowed to say this? Does the world know y'all together, or is this? You
Here.
tell them
Right, he can come on the other side.
come on up here. So this is
Another
the,
love connection.
This is the couple that we
Compliments
put
of
together.
Digital Grass.
Yes. Don't act like
Hello,
you
world.
stern now. You.
After that talk, come on, don't be like that big fella.
We know who in control. Pack them bags up. So, Shahid, you, a lot of people don't know, but you made your, by the way, everybody, Shahid closed the deal. The reason why he got Sundari to say yes was by his horrible karaoke. that he,
Yes. Thanks for the reminder. I forgot about that.
That's it. First of all,
I forgot about
he
that.
didn't even do a verse. He put us through the painful 3 minutes and 47 seconds of that whole song.
I think we need a reenactment.
We do not need a reenactment.
Do you remember what song it was?
Rolling in the deep.
See? Ready, go.
And it wasn't even. Wait, is that it? Who's song?
Adele.
Yeah, he sang an Adele song in a male version in front of an audience through the whole song.
So why did you pick Rolling in the Deep? You really want to like go?
Why did you sing an Adele song? Period.
Because it's a very soulful song, so I thought, maybe I had a little bit of that in me, but it turns out I didn't.
You just shot your shot that night.
Yeah.
You was just whatever it's gonna take.
I was feeling it.
She was cheering for you though. Y'all should have seen SUNDARI. SUNDARI was just sitting up there clapping like
she was glowing.
She was so happy. She had just had a stupid boy pass up on her, and SHAAHID came in and swept through and just he did it. That boy. I mean, he sang Adele.
He sang
it.
I mean,
didn't hit a single note.
Not one.
He sang that song.
I'll shoot him my eyes closed.
I don't even know if you was close to the target. I mean, you wasn't in key. And that's one of them ones. So me and David, that's when we was like, that's not your song. That's not. But after a point, we just started listening. We were like, you did have to finish. We weren't going to let you get off the stage. She was too excited. She had been there 3 weeks in a row, damn near in tears, setting up equipment.
Right?
So that was the first time we had saw her smile. We thought we was about to send her back home to her parents. She was suicidal.
Oh, the memories.
But she been like this ever since.
Right, ever since.
So all we do is, she came in first. So initially, she's the little sister first. So you like the outsider. So we had to haze you up. That's but we expect you to take care of her on y'all journey in South Carolina and wish you guys the best. But we know what she's going to do in her life. So maybe what has Digital Grass inspired you to do, and what are you going to be pursuing when you're in South Carolina?
All this AV experience, sound checks and things.
Yeah, what you going to do? Run a studio?
I'm going to answer the second question first. I want to do cybersecurity, so I'm in the process of getting my certifications now. And Tech Beats and Bytes has helped me with that because you are bringing a lot of people that work in the IT field and a lot of different things. So I have a lot of connections because of you guys.
Well, I'm glad we were able to help you with that. And Omni to the max. I want to make sure I told you I was going to introduce you to my dad because he runs a cybersecurity company. Mm-hmm. So you won't be without a job. You just might be working for the Department of Defense. But we got you.
I mean, I guess I can settle for that.
Yeah, you can settle for that $120,000 just to sit there and wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
All right.
I can do that for a little while.
Must be nice.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, kids. We appreciate you.
For the youngins.
SUNDARI, go get me another drink. I'm running out of beer.
See? Trifling. Straight up.
Oh, she's learning.
That's right. Get on SUNDARI. You should have made him wait for it.
I would have just pretended I got it. But that's when you're young. You don't know no better. You just automatically do it. All right.
You got to haze back, SUNDARI. Haze back.
Dave, come on up.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
You in these random hyper days. Is this what a child does to you?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Just amped.
So David has been our photographer, videographer, co-camera with Dante, host, co-host of Tech Beats and Bytes karaoke's.
Great
karaoke's at dark. That was really
Trap karaoke.
It was really just a hazing session of people while they sang.
That was great. We got to bring that back.
So David, I met you at the Jack Daniels event as we were picking on kids that didn't understand the value of the DJ.
Right.
What?
Why are you picking on kids?
So here's the whole story behind that real quick. So when
go.
I first met Mike, actually I met you through Omar at Wentworth Yard, but that time at Jack Daniels. So we were at an event.
Well, we met, but we ain't talked.
Right.
This was the event we actually had a conversation.
So it was an event, and it was Jazzy Jeff supposed to come on. So it was Migos and everything going on. Kids is doing what the kids do. And all of a sudden, he went into a new edition just wave. And we was literally watching kids like, what is this?
Yeah.
And everybody over 30 was in tears laughing.
Because they were all in front of the stage. Right. So out of
okay.
nowhere, they get on their Snapchat, and you can see their faces like
Shazamming everything.
They had no idea what it was, and there's no signal out there. They trying to Shazam the song. What is this playing? It
trying to stay in their groove, but they confused.
Yeah, they couldn't do it. Then by 8 songs in, they've literally stopped dancing, us old heads, the 32 plus,
Right.
we over in the corner just jamming out, and they're like, "Why are they so excited?" And
They didn't
so
get
we was
it.
like, "They couldn't
Oh, the
appreciate it."
generational gap.
So that's when we was like, we started talking about music, and we invited David to use some of his skills, and David has now, captured a lot of the tech world and innovation world in still. He's immortalized a lot of moments that a lot of people may not remember, and we know you have a book that you're working on.
Yes.
But what do you think have been some of the, besides the funny stuff?
Oh, okay.
Trap karaoke was always just great. And guys, if you don't know, trap karaoke means you're just singing over lyrics, because we didn't have the karaoke songs, nor did we have the lyrics, nor did we have a screen to put the lyrics on. So
You got to do that thing on your phone.
And we'll just drop the sound to see if you were really
we're
singing.
singing anything. So it was very
Great times,
very,
great times.
very good. But what do you think have been some of the impacts over the last year that you've enjoyed the most?
It's interesting. Tech Beats and Bytes actually started April 10th, which is personal for me because besides that's the day I crossed 12 years prior.
06?
Yeah, absolutely. Greatest fraternity ever. Ice cold. But it was interesting because literally 72 hours before I had just got terminated from a job that brought me to Miami. So it was kind of like having that coming to Jesus moment of whether or not you want to be an entrepreneur or not. And a lot of people say you want to be an entrepreneur, and it's great when you have a steady check coming in. It's a different conversation when you know that
Tell 'em.
last check coming in, and this was a city that I had barely been in and barely knew anybody. So for me, it was kind of one of those things that, I was like, either you're going to be a hunter or be hunted. What you going to do? So for me, it was able to meet Mike and the family here to take that to the next level and then learn about a city through a camera. It's a lot more to Miami, and I actually have two people here from Chicago who came down to visit. One's actually doing a marathon here in a couple of days. So yeah, triathlon. Excuse me, triathlon. She
Clarify.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Different
super
thing.
woman
that's
right there.
even
Different thing.
more intense.
Exactly. So
By the way, I just want to shout out to whoever started making these things larger in public, because the amount of people that's paying for free trophies and ribbons and stuff to run around the city that they can run around
On a regular day?
Y'all do realize y'all can run around this city for free.
right.
But the
No
fact that
registration.
the fact that y'all paying $125 for a little cups of water along the run and somebody
Some cold
to cheer,
oranges.
and them little $2 medals that y'all get. Best business plan ever.
But to be able to see Miami and learn Miami and capture Miami as a photographer has been cool. And meet cool people. I've met a lot of cool people. I actually got one of my teaching gigs here, actually. Little known fact. I actually also professor at Miami-Dade, and I met the person that got me there at Tech Beats and Bytes. So I've met a lot of cool people here myself. And, of course, it's the comedy, because you guys as a family have made Monday originally like a dope day. You don't understand how difficult that is to make Monday something people
Yeah,
look
that's a good
forward
point.
That was
to in
hard.
Miami.
We did it though.
We did. I think we may need to do it again.
You know
though.
what? Sometimes you don't look at what you've accomplished enough.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why we have to do this. Well, I'm sorry if you guys are watching this live and you don't care about this part, but
It's not
matters
about
to
them.
us.
It's about the
about
family
us
today.
right now.
Yeah.
It's about us.
So like the first Tech Beats and Bytes was a Monday, and everybody comes out like a new event. Everybody, because it's the first one,
Right.
And then it was just to be able to watch it go. And there were times where we've dealt with adversities that we were like, Heavenly Father, we ain't gonna be doing this no more.
No
We gonna be-
cameras, no
cameras,
chairs, no tables,
Rain.
monsoon,
all
police
that.
officers,
Right, noise ordinances,
cars being broken into.
Love and Hip Hop Miami.
wearing Coogee
that
sweaters
again.
in 90-degree weather.
Hot. It was hot.
Literally,
It was
preview to hell.
I know
Right.
he
No
was
shame
sweating.
on the Scott. I'm just saying we love you.
Absolutely not. We're not done.
Oh yeah, we had the Zika scare. They was spraying from
Yeah.
mosquitoes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All of us gonna have messed up, baby. You barely got out of it.
He is just fine.
But I think that one of the best moments for me is actually the karaoke, and here's why. Because everyone in Digital Grass has their own set of skills, but we would all come together to do like a community song. And it's because
Which was normally a new edition
song.
Rap Tresvant, Bobby Brown, or BBD
right,
song.
because we had Petty Pendergrass over here leading Luther,
AKA Dante.
aka Dante.
Gotta get him on the.
Oh, we gotta get him. We gotta get him
Gotta-
on camera. And it was interesting because people know us for different things and different skill sets, but it shows how we operate as a family together.
I
Oh, that was
appreciate
beautiful, David.
That's what happened when you spit bars.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that
Right.
part.
Yeah.
So I knew Mike was going to do this one day. The little known fact about me in Miami that people don't know is I've been a musician for 20 years. I've been a hip hop lyricist for a long time. I just don't talk about it down here because they don't like bars down here. But that's one of the reasons.
Look, don't do us. Don't do us.
I'm just saying.
We're not all bass music
Right, I'm just
and
saying.
donks.
I mean, not all, but most people are bad and bougie. You know, and that's just not my cup of tea. I don't knock it. So that's why Mike was like had fun with me on the karaoke because he knew I could improv and I talk a lot of shit on the mic. So there you have it.
Appreciate you, man. We appreciate you being a part of the family. And if you
Yes.
guys don't know, David came down from Chicago. And one thing is you got to embrace the community. And as much as people may not know what we do, we always try to uplift people to the next level and help anybody out. We don't just speak about diversity and inclusion, but we definitely believe in inclusion and making people feel a part of the family. So it's been a great, man. And David is, besides normally always talking to Dante, and we have to talk about 6 hours a day, me and David normally have these 1 to 2 hour sessions where we just unload everything and we support each other. And I'm a little bit more open about this because David became a brother to me, and we embrace each other. We reach out. He's had to call me when he's needed things, and I've been there for him without question. He's been there for me without question, all the way to doing photo shoots at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning because we needed the perfect light and we didn't need anybody on the street.
Yeah.
And when you know you can call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning and they'll get up and go take photos with you in Overtown at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we got to have conversations with Neighborhood Watch to make sure we're okay.
Right.
They wondering what we doing, and we wondering what they doing. Why we doing what we doing?
Right.
Yeah. And they hoping we not still in construction stuff down the street.
Right.
That's when you know you got a real friend. So as much as we talk about Miami has been a beautiful place to us, and we've been able to make things happen. So David, we really appreciate you being a part of the family, man.
Thank you.
All right. So last but not least, I wouldn't be doing 98% of the things I'm doing without this brother. He is the co-founder of literally every company I own. Only thing he hasn't co-founded with me is the popcorn company because it wasn't my company. Pop Soul, make sure you get it back. popsoulpopcorn.com.
The plugs.
Put in TBB, 30% off. I'm just saying. So Dante has been my business partner since, well, actually a lot of people don't know. I'm going to finally get this on camera. I taught Dante how to design.
True.
Y'all need to quit calling Dante and tell him how dope he is. Call the teacher and tell him. I was just saying.
First of all,
me and
let's be
all of us
real clear.
All of us really became friends because of music, and I don't think we've ever gotten this story on tape.
So,
Juicy.
so back in the day, back when I had 3 jobs in college. Everybody
Hold on. To the FCC and Trademark Association, I have nothing to do with this. I did not know what's happening at this time. I'll tell the story.
I'm gonna tell a story so I won't get flagged.
You got it,
because I know some people that went to feds.
Look,
okay,
Dante was stealing music and burning CDs. Y'all remember?
I wasn't stealing. First of all,
he wasn't stealing the CDs. He owned the CDs.
I owned the. I creatively. Thank you.
You created mixed CDs.
But
creatively
Dante,
acquired.
Who had a CD man back in the day?
Wait, did you work at what's the name of the record store
Yeah,
that was on?
You was too young to even know what CDs are.
Yeah,
Y'all was
first thing first. So back in the day, to fund my because I'm a gadget dude. So to fund my gadget dude, I borrowed music and sold it. Period. And so
I know Chicago, you looking confused. What
I will tell you later.
He was burning CDs.
I was burning CDs.
Right.
I was burning CDs.
He
back in the
thought
day.
he was being creative, so he would design his own label for the CD.
And so as a customer,
Right, I probably got some
because
of yours
Mike
and
was a
don't even know it.
customer, he said, "Hey,
Let me put my business out there." I was
hey.
just acquiring.
But he couldn't complain because he always had the fresh stuff first. That was the thing. So just long story short, Mike taught me, said, "Hey man, you should jazz up your labels." All right, then cool. He showed me some tricks.
See, I knew he was gonna do this part. What I said to him was, "Your labels look horrible, and I would not buy this by the way your labels look, and you can't be stealing because you know a lot of labels back."
So
then
you was
were
like
dark.
this back in college?
I'm always, it ain't new.
It ain't new. It ain't new. I just had to say that out loud so people knew it ain't new. Like this is 99, 2000.
That's exactly what it was.
Right.
So I was like, yo, if you change these labels, you'll move more units because people will know it's you. It was about him building his own brand because
right.
he had Diakos. Diakos 84 was his brand because I actually helped him design his first logo, which was the
shout
blue
out
smile
Sid
effect.
Jones.
So
and Sparta Nightclub, Portrait Night.
I need to pull out some CDs and see if your name is on it.
His sales went up about 50%. We was tracking the numbers, so I started getting my music for free, and I was teaching him how to design. Then when business got too fast, he was still running Diakos, and I was running Footprints. And,
so and he designed. Mike is so bad. Another little history fight. Mike designed my first company. You know what it was called? Cyber Ballhead. That's when I started shaving my head.
What?
Yeah, we had some weird names. We traded off. So he designed my company logo. I designed his last T-shirt for Footprints, which was we did Dexter Laboratory, which I still have some today. They classics. This was Dexter Laboratory. We need to bring the Cartoon Network, bring Dexter Laboratory back.
Yeah, Dexter was the
It was a good cartoon, but Cyberball.
Look, man, we had some cool last names. So Cyberball morphed into Ballpoint Media, morphed into Ballpoint. Mike moved to North Carolina because he was going to NC State.
Worst mistake
ever. Then I said, F it, I'm going to grad school, 05. I left and went to SCAD. Shot at SCAD Beast, Savannah College. Mike moved to West Palm Beach. We're working for the Highwaymen.
Yes, by the way, for all those people that asked me about art, I was a manager of the Florida Highwaymen.
So you got to understand little black history facts. There's a whole bunch of history facts between Mike. Mike moved to Palm Beach. I was in Savannah. Mike got fired, moved to Naples.
Why you got to put that part out there?
Since you want to call me out for burning CDs, you got fired. Anyway, so Mike moved to Naples, worked with John Rossenberg at the print company. Then me and Mike started a magazine. Yeah, I ain't know that. Showcase Magazine. It was the first square magazine ever, entertainment based, and it also had a loyalty card to go along with it. Shout out to Showcase and everybody who remember that.
Yes.
Mike matriculated back around there, but before then, around 2006, we was like frustrated at that point because Mike still had his own design firm. I had my own design firm. We was doing all right, but we said, let's bump it. Let's just join forces. And what we gonna call it? Medium 4. Boom. There it went. So we went through a couple iterations of the logo. Now we're at the one we at today. So June 9th, 2006, we started Medium 4, our first company on LLC papers together. But mind you, we've been working together since 1999.
So this is a chance for y'all to see how much Dante really likes to talk and he hates being behind the camera.
Right.
So y'all,
this has absolutely nothing to do with besides the fact that this is the kind of friendship we have. You have to go through a lot of other stuff to get to the point. So the point of this all is, Dante.
You know what? I was giving a little history facts. You said you never had it on film, so
we don't. It's good to have it. One day our kids will see this.
Yeah. You first.
What have you? Yeah, you're right. You older though. But what have you been able to experience? Because the one thing is, it's one thing to watch the show once. You have to watch the content anywhere from 3 to 6 times. What have you seen, or what have you noticed, maybe in the progression of the guests and the content that we've developed that's impacted you? Not what it's impacted other people. What's impacted you? Because you have to watch this footage over and over again.
That is very. So every Sunday, y'all, I
don't tell them that. Just to answer the question, man.
Every
This is
Sunday,
what I'm talking about.
I dedicate my Sunday to all the viewers. But what I've learned and what I've seen, I mean, you just those tidbits, the little jewels that you miss, and we starting to pull those jewels out now in the small bite rewind. It's those jewels you may have not heard on. They said this is what I had to do, because people actually tell you what Jay-Z said. I give you $1 billion worth of info for $9.99
for free $99.
For free $99. Like, people be giving you $1 million worth of info for free $99, but you just got to catch it, and you just like got to say, like, look, this is not the way to do it, or, this is how you should do this in whatever industry, whether it's in the nonprofit sector or you're a startup or you're in the tech or whatever, fintech, all the good stuff. Hair, I've learned enough about hair and beauty, and
that's why you grew your hair back, because you learned so much
about hair. No, I grew my hair back.
No, I don't want to know. I'm playing.
You want to use one of our combs? Shout out Cosmology.
Yeah, I want to use one of Cosmology combs.
Coming soon.
Boom.
But what are we gonna do with this content, right?
Right.
But yeah, so it's those golden nuggets. Like seriously.
All right, that's dope. We appreciate you, man. We know you put in a lot of hard work.
Absolutely.
Man. A lot of times it's the people behind the scene and behind the camera that don't get the credit. So.
Shout out to Celine Studio not working today. Yeah. Shout out to them.
Get us that other one for free.
I am going to tag you in this post.
We did it without you. All right.
Anyway.
So with that being said, as Dante gets the camera in focus for the closing part, Toya, is there anything? Welcome to our new guest. We're sorry you guys missed. You missed an amazing guest. Welcome to the show. So where are you guys from? So it's your first time here? I'm talking about the dude by you that you bought with him. It's his first time, unless he lied and never signed.
Yeah, we're looking at his Venture Cafe.
No, the dude you're sitting with,
right
his
now.
tag, Hollywood. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Well, we're here every Thursday. Come back.
Or we might not be here exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We move.
Toya, is there anything you want to say to close out before I give our little fun facts and close out the show?
No, I definitely say it's been a fantastic ride, and I cannot wait to see what year 2 brings. You know, there's different opportunities that are coming up. There'll be growth, lots of growth. So y'all just gotta stay tuned and ride with us.
And I just want to say to a lot of people out there that's more so New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Orlando, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Panama City, West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami. Those are our actually top 8 cities that watch the show. We pull the stats off of Facebook because we don't get a lot of people on YouTube, but on Facebook. And the people that have hit me up that have let me know, you know, can you just tell Toya thank you? She's inspired me to chase this dream. Can you tell a guest we really appreciate what you've done? And to understand, you know, my journey of speaking in front of people came out of my fear of not wanting to speak to people. 10th grade in English, I used to hate actually talking to people. And I didn't like writing. So my English teacher allowed me to write poetry for my papers and stuff. And I used to write a lot of poetry. And most of that poetry I still have. And then in college, I started doing open mic and freestyling. And I kind of incorporated that style into my pitching. And that's how I started businesses and stuff. And I didn't ever think that it would lead back to creating content that would impact and affect people's lives. But one of the things about being passionate about changing the community is you get to a point where you stop doing things for yourself because it may not be as rewarding. And a lot of people may think that we're making tons of money doing this, and a lot of people don't know how much money we're actually putting into this.
And time.
$25,000, $30,000 worth of equipment just to make it look a little bit better, so you're intrigued by what you see. Talking to friends, bartering favors to be able to get advice on. Shout out to Latrice, how to make the sound better. That's why we're sitting together this show instead of on the different ends of the table. Constantly getting feedback to make it better, but it's more than a show. You're talking about Junction Halls. You're talking about Cosmology. You're talking about Timeline Brewery. Pop Soul. Medium 4 still running. Digital Grass is actually Junction Management. The Urban Project that's coming up. We're collectively as a group, we have almost 10 startups that is going, and all of us support each other. And the only reason why I bring this up is because the main thing of why I feel our group does this and why we made sure LaTOYA was a seat, inclusion, people. Inclusion and collaboration. I think diversity is a necessary evil, but diversity can't be a focus, because if you don't include people, if you just have people included, the diversity will come because you'll see the skill set.
Right.
There's not a more educated group than black women. So if you don't have a black woman on your team, you're automatically losing for one of the most educated groups. There's not better talent than what you seek. And if you surround yourself with good people, and we always are around each other starting businesses because we want to see each other successful, and we're not chasing money, we're chasing legacy. I think we are the generation of sacrifice where we're setting it up for our kids and our kids' kids that are coming. We may not be able to reap these rewards to the highest level. And I would say probably some of our content will be more watched 10 years from now, because a lot of stuff we said happens in advance and we're normally ahead of the curve. And one thing about being a leader ahead of the curve, it's harder to get people to follow you. So to our loyal fans, to our loyal supporters, to our friends, families, all the way to my dad that gets on every Wednesday or Thursday to ask what we talking about, but at least he lets me know he's there. We appreciate you. We've done this for the community, and we've done this to make change. And the change isn't about changing millions, thousands, or hundreds. As long as we can change one person or help one person with every show, we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish with this show. So if we've touched you, if you just hit the like button, the share button, if you just reflected on a moment, we've accomplished what we've always wanted to accomplish when we first started the show, which is touching one person at a time. So as the founder, co-founder of Digital Grass, CEO of Digital Grass, and just being a man, a black man in this world, trying to make sure that I can make my own impact and leave my legacy, from the bottom of my heart, I want to tell everybody thank you. Thank you for your support, and it's only going to get bigger and better for here. We appreciate you. Happy 1 year anniversary to Digital Grass and Tech Beats and Bytes.
Thank you.
Last word from everyone that got up and spoke.
Good idea.
She just put you on the spot.
A last word from everybody that spoke.
Yeah, well, everybody's still here.
They're all still here.
No, it's not hard for you.
It's just the last word, whatever comes to mind. Michael set it
I
up.
need a pad. I got to write down the word. I need a
Piece of paper. Un papel.
I can only do 4 in my head. You got something to write it down with?
Business card?
That's fine.
You have a pen?
Yep. All right. David, your last word?
Legacy.
Shaheed?
Can I go last?
No. Go. One word.
Phenomenal.
Sundari? Dante?
Business.
Joseph? One word.
Good one.
Toya?
Lasting.
For the lasting opportunities that happen to a community, there's nothing more phenomenal than a family that can build a legacy. Thank you very much, guys.